Hello again, everyone. Welcome back. In this technical analysis of the stock market video, we're going to take a look at the Nasdaq 100 ETF, the Qs. We're going to take a look at the Retail ETF XRT, and then we're going to check in on copper, which last time I put a video out on copper was January 6th. Okay, so the Qs up $1.58 on Friday. Nice looking candle, somewhat bullish looking in here, but only $1.18 on the week. Kind of a little pause when you look at that candle, just a little, almost a doji type of little candle in here after 4 pretty strong weeks to the downside. So are we turning, or is this just a little pause? Let me come over here and take a look at this daily a little bit more. So the dash line I've got in here is the year-end close on the Qs, and it closed at 511.23 on the 31st of December. Okay, and so for the year, we're down 5.9%. But what's interesting is from this high close right here on February 19th to the low close on March 13th, we dropped 13.2%. And also, the 13th was also the intraday low. And the 19th, I believe, was also the intraday high. Yes, it was. So we got high to low. Doesn't matter whether you're measuring intraday or whether you're measuring close. A very substantial sell-off. Now, I continue to look at this as one big pattern, and here's how I'm looking at it. I think we have a three-wave, and a five-wave. The real question is the five-wave complete or not? I like the way the market on Friday gap down. It was very, very negative at the beginning of the day. It had been selling off last couple hours before the market opened on the futures. And then it just didn't take very long, and it started to turn around, and then it just kind of rallied back during the day. So kind of a positive type of picture here. We'll see if we get any follow through. We need to take out this high, which is 485.84, and continue to push higher. So my default is that I think there's maybe one more wave down, and then we're done. Maybe it gives us some divergence on that move, but I don't think we have to have that. And so therefore my alternate count says that the W wave, because this is I think is the first wave of a big complex corrective pattern, I think it finished here on the 13th. That's the alternate view. So watching to see if we push higher, start taking out the highs, and definitely go above the low here. So let's say above 497. I think we're going to pretty convincingly be saying the 13th is the low. Now, what are we looking at though? I'm still looking at a larger corrective pattern, because wave 2 that ended in the fall of 22, that was a big zigzag down. So I'm looking for more of a sideways, complex, messy type of corrective pattern over many months. Maybe this goes to the end of June, into the summer. So after W's done, I'm looking for a three-wave X. And then we're going to get another type of corrective pattern. That's what I'm looking for. So we'll see if that plays out. Okay, so that is the Qs. I wanted to see, the other thing about this, I'm cautious about Fridays. You get excited because you think there's a kind of a bullish looking type candle, but we've had several fake out Fridays here in the last several weeks. So right here, March 7th, nice bullish looking, potential reversal candle. And we gap down at the open on Monday, the 10th. Same thing right back over here on February 28th. I think that was February 28th. Yes. And the very next on Monday, we gap up and reverse big time down. So a little bit of some fake out Fridays going on. We'll see if that happened on Friday this time. Okay, so let's take a look at retail. I'm going to pull up XRT. So this has similarly had a very big negative move to the downside here. So here's the year end, 79.59. And the year to date at the close on the 13th was down 16.3%. Pretty big move to the downside. And I put out a video right here This is the 14th. I put it out on Saturday the 15th that said retail tapped out. And actually I had a question mark on it. But that's the way it was looking, right? And the close on the 14th was 79.36, 23 cents below the year-end close. And then we collapsed. Now, right in here, in this video is when I talked about Amazon, I talked about Walmart, talked about Costco, and all of them have gotten hit pretty good in this big move to the downside. Now, the real question is this it? Is that the bottom? But it's the same scenario I just talked about with the Qs in terms of what we're looking at down here. Now, we don't have the divergence, but again, you don't have to have divergence. It's just nice to have to confirm a turn, but we'll see. Okay, I want to take a look at copper. I put out a video on copper on January 6th. And let me pull up CPER, which is the copper ETF. Now, the thing about this ETF is the 20-day average volume on this is 175,000 shares. It's just not very much. Am I looking at the right thing? Yeah. So the volume is not real high, but it does give you a pretty good reflection on what's happening with copper. Here's where I put the video out on January 6th. Let's go look at the weekly chart. Now, when I look at this weekly, this is kind of interesting because you could draw a trend line across the highs here, and it looks like we've got a potential head and shoulders consolidation type pattern in here, but we've had a pretty good move to get to the trend line. So I'm really wondering if we're going to chop around for a couple of weeks, then break. Okay, but here's the other thing I wanted to show you. Back to what I showed on January 6th in the video. If you pull up a monthly close only chart, the data I had was to this low right here. This was the December 31st low right here. Okay. And let's see, the December close the December close was 25.16. I talked about this potential pattern and bursting up through the trend line across these highs. That's exactly what we've gotten. So the move in here looks very nice. Looks potentially, projecting up into the 38 plus. We'll see if we get that or not. We've already come along, quite a ways in a short period of time. But right now, you got to say, copper's looking pretty bullish and acting very bullish. So that's the current picture that we've got on copper, at least via the United States Copper ETF, CPER. Okay, that's it for this video. If you felt like the video was helpful, give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber to the channel, hit that little subscriber button. And if you'd like more of this information, head on over to joehenches.net. All right, everyone, have a great week. We'll talk to you on the next video.